All right, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your boy Derek Bump said coming to you live. So this is our 34th edition of the Up Bus podcast, first part of a series called GTID, Get Them in the Door. I have the pleasure of having my guy. I consider him a mentor, honestly. Dan Webb, dude's a monster. Business director for Tecobi. He's also a partner, within the company and just an all-around monster. I always call this guy when I have a tough question in regards to business. Without further ado, this is my guy, Dan Webb. Dan, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? How are you, D?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Rocking and rolling. So, by the way, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to jump out here with us on the Up Bus podcast. So we're going to get into a couple of topics, but before we do, for those of you who aren't aware of who the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Webb is, if you wouldn't mind kind of giving us a brief intro about yourself, who you are, who you with, and all that.
I'm Dan Webb, guys. I'm our business director at Tecobi. I'm also a partner in the company. Background history on that was I worked for Keller Williams at the time, and I was headhunted from an account manager over at PCG who thought I'd be pretty good at working in digital marketing for auto dealerships. Since I know, since I knew a lot of the guys from my telemarketing days and running call centers, training teams how to sell extended auto warranties via telemarketing rooms. So I do have an extensive background in telemarketing and training. Closers to close for the greeters or the BDC team, we would call it. And those guys, I got to know really well. They sort of became like little brothers and sisters to me. So I mentored a lot of them and tried to help them out through their ups and downs, their personal life, etc. Joined Keller Williams, got my real estate agent. Became a real estate agent, and then was headhunted from PCG to join Brian and Glenn Pash. Tough gig, man, learning digital marketing in a matter of 3 months and trying to become an expert because those guys are monsters. They know what to do at a high level. And to be able to sell to monsters, that understand digital and have a fluent conversation with them took a lot. So I gave it everything I had. I didn't think personally I could do it. And I think that's what challenged me to excel and to learn to do it at a much higher level than they had a stud on the team at the time, this guy, Mike Lizza. And I thought he was like God, you know what I mean? So, and he's making six figures well above and beyond that. So I was like, well, I want that money, So I learned what he did. I just did it better than him. So took off from there. I was going out to all these conferences, NADA and all these digital dealers and every other conference that PCG was hosting or attending as a vendor, or whether they were spokesperson, whatever. However I got there, however I got my plane ticket and got my foot in the door, I wanted a piece of the pie once I got my foot in the door. So I actually ended up meeting Jason Gardner on Facebook. Yeah, I thought he was actually a general manager, to be honest with you, because I saw him. He was like next to a car and he was like, pow, pow, with Jay's smart ass, poses. So he was like, pow, and I was like, damn, who's this dude with a Hublot on his wrist? You know what I'm saying? Sitting next to a Shelby, pointing at a Shelby. So I got to know Jay and started to learn that he was a new vendor, and I learned about his business, had a phone call with him, and I actually tried to sell him on joining one of the conferences because I was getting paid to do that as well. Sell conferences and marketing slots for that. And Jay basically told me to fuck off, to be straight up. And like me, like I'm not a guy that takes no lightly, you know what I mean? Especially if it's somebody that I think I could sell. So I sat there and was like, damn, I made a couple more calls, but 15 minutes later, that shit bothered me. It was eating at me. I was like, this dude was cool as hell. Like, how the fuck did I sell him? Like, I know I could get through to him because he was real open. And it's a brand new company. So I learned a little bit more about his company the next time I called him up. We sat on the phone for 3 hours on this phone call. We politicked about a lot of shit and realized we had a lot of things in common from our backgrounds and our history. So I was like, damn, did I meet a long lost brother? But he ended up showing me
the best friends. Yep.
Yeah, man. So he ended up showing me the technology, and I was like, wait, what? So me over here, I'm sitting here calling 100, 200, 300, 500 dealers a day, and people thought I was fucking crazy. I probably was, but I was hungry. I wanted money, man. I needed money. I became addicted to money. So my background was, drugs and hustling and the lifestyle we all thought we could live watching a rap video, right?
Sure.
Unfortunately, that's not legal, and that's not, that's, the new hustle is becoming a CEO. Like, that's the new hustle. That's the new street gangster. Like, there's no more gangs. Like, that's the gangster. The gangster is the CEO now.
You follow Goods the rapper, like on URL?
Yeah.
So Goods, I think, said in his last battle, he was like, "Y'all still out here selling dope? That's so 2012. You know what I'm saying? We buying properties and
man. Like the old dope dealers, they're CEOs now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody that, so I grew up watching Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z to me is my idol. Like, I don't even know him. He's my mentor. Like, people don't even, us, like, we get that, but a lot of people don't understand that. Like, he talked about his journey through his lyrics, and a lot of people just thought it was gangster rap and this and that. Like, nah, he was telling a story. Like, y'all weren't paying attention or didn't slow down the lyrics to actually understand what was going on. So for me, that was mentorship through purchasing that album. Like, I was teaching myself through $10, $20 albums. And I actually took that and tried to master it. Of course I fucked up. We all fuck up. But eventually I got clean. I listened to Biggie, Stop Getting High on Supply, and eventually learned to sort of start to master crafts. Instead of just being the switch, the Army switchblade, I sort of realized that I could just start to master a craft and excel and grind until I got what I wanted, a bigger paycheck.
I don't think people really understand like how much, how much power there is in specializing in something. I think we all kind of think that, it's best to kind of branch out and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But when you specialize in something and get really granular, go really deep, like you kill it. What was the mindset, bro? To kind of pull you out of, where you were before to like, let's go after this money for real and, legal and, good hustle.
For me personally, I got 13 years sober, so I don't drink, no drugs, no drinking, none of that shit. So for me, I still wanted that lifestyle, right? But didn't want the consequences that came along with it, right? Didn't want to go to jail because that sucked, right?
All day.
Prison sucked even worse, right? Like, I've been there, done it. Like, check, not a happy check mark, but check, like, it's there on the resume, right?
Right.
It's extensive enough to where I can't just say, hey, Mr. Lawyer, here's some money, let's make this shit go away. So the jacket's long, right? So I can't make that go away. I have to own up to that and tell people, this is what I did. You don't have to do this same, make these same mistakes. So I try to encourage the youth, like, yo, don't do what I did. It's not going to work. No matter how smart you are, how dope you think you are, how tight your network is, like, never going to work. Doesn't matter. Like, they don't last, man. They don't make them like that.
And I think that's why I'm such a big, like advocate for people getting into sales and, specifically automotive sales, because it don't matter what background you got. I was actually talking to a homeboy of mine today about, just getting tired. At a certain point, you just want more. And I'm like, bro, that's it. That's everybody in the car business, or really just.
I'd rather take somebody that has a jacket. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean stereotype shit, but I'd rather take somebody that's got a history that's real with me, and that I could actually look at their background check, or they're honest with me, and I don't got to do that shit. I'd rather take that person than the straight and narrow person, because I know the hunger. I can see it. Like, if they open up and they're ready to get real. Like, most people I know locally, I've sent them to local dealerships around here, man. Some of them have succeeded at very high levels. Some of them haven't. But the ones that have, bro, like, I saw it. Even the ones that failed, like, I know they got it in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they're hungry, but they're not willing to give it enough time. So for me, it took me to a point to where I died multiple times, overdosed, literally died, and woke up. And one day I just said, you know what? Like, I don't want this life, man. Like, I'm headed down the wrong road. Like, how many more times like, I'm not going to wake up next, one of these days. So I got to a point to where I just said, fuck it. Like, I'm done with this, and just made a spontaneous decision. Like, let me try what everybody else has been trying to tell me for, at this point I was 26 years old. And let me try to do what everyone else has been trying to guide me to be. So I took that advice. I did what everybody told me to do. It wasn't my decision. Like my best decision was to listen to them, to everybody else in my life. Once I did that, I personally stayed in a halfway house for a year. Mm-hmm. All right. With grown men, all right, sharing a bunk bed, who now one of them is my actual business partner in another venture, in a sneaker venture, which we'll jump into later. Funny story how that shit just turned about. And I think back on it like, damn, 13 years ago, we were like, nobody would give us a shot. Like we were working as roofers, as mules for $100 a day, cash off the books, you know what I mean? Busting our ass for $100 a day. And we chop it up and laugh about that shit now. So
like, where are you at? Not to cut you off. So kind of that was your, lower points back then. Like, describe your success right now. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things, and then you got to go into details with the specifics of your money. But going from where you were to where exactly are you now? Does that make sense?
I'd say hard work is starting to pay off. Dividends. Yeah, it's been paying off, and I think I've been humble and grateful for it. But now I think continuing to be humble and being grateful for the shit I do have. Like I always want what I don't got, right? Like we all want that. Like right now I got an obsession with buying kicks, like a big obsession with buying kicks or jewelry, right? Like now I got the $100,000 iced out rollie, and I got the jewels, and I got this, and now I'm like, damn, I want a better bracelet, right? Or this, or like. Now that I look at it, I'm like, nah, bro, like I got what I want. I got 10 on the wrist and 100 on this one. Like I'm happy with what I have. It just took a while to figure that out. So the success, the monetary values were goals of mine. I wrote down goals that I've succeeded and surpassed time and time again, whether it's buying this property and flipping it, whether it's, I only want to make 30 off of that, and you made 40. You're like, oh shit, I didn't even think I was going to make 30. Like I thought really I was going to make like 25 cleared. So writing down goals for me, when I look back at it, it's like a joke what I thought about 5-10 years ago. The idea, like short-term goals, like what do you want short-term? Like doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the newest pair of kicks, or it's that $1,000 pair of off-whites, or it's to buy your wife this and to take her out to dinner and to go on a quick cruise for a week. Right. And you need 5,000-6,000. Like it's the short term goals versus long term. Where do you want to be and where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Like what kind of everything. Just write it down, no matter how stupid it sounds. Like what kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car you want to drive? Like what type of people do you want to hang out with? Where do you want your family to be? Like write this shit down. People think it's a joke. It's not. It's not, because you get to reflect and work harder at that until you get to it. I think I worked so hard, like I fucking shot past that shit like a slingshot.
Let's go.
All right, so like I just like was like, whoa, like I didn't even realize I was just hustling so hard. People were leaving at 5. I wasn't leaving till midnight. You know what I mean? Like, it's closed and lights are out. Like, all right, cool, I'll lock up. You don't got the key. It's all right. What's the security code? I'll just close the door behind me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll turn the alarm on. Like that was my mentality. Was I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to catch up for the 5-10 years that I've missed. So I realized at that point that I was so hungry. And that's what it really came down to. I just wasn't willing to accept defeat. I didn't care if I was only making $500 a week at that point. I knew that I believed in myself, that if I believed in myself long enough and kept putting into work day after day after day after day, what was going to happen? Someone was going to be like, I'm going to give this kid a shot. And they gave me a shot, and I never let them down.
It sounds like, from what you're describing, the mentality is huge with it. That belief in yourself to keep pushing when it's dark, when it's at its hardest point, to just going to work the hardest. Yeah. Right now, we're obviously going through a tough time. This coronavirus has got everybody thrown off, right? A lot of folks are getting furloughed, losing jobs. Like, what advice do you have, one, to just the everyday person out there, who's a salesperson or what have you, to keep going, to keep pushing?
Don't stop. Don't stop, no matter how hard it is. There's so many distractions that are going to distract you. And I think like that's all evil shit, right? Sometimes it's good to take in doses of, healthy distractions, whether it be social media, games, family, vacations. These are all healthy distractions. All right. But you have to learn to manage your time. When I learned to manage my time, then things got much easier for me. All right, to constantly like, even like with today, I was like, Derek, like, a couple hours ago, I was like, bro, send me the calendar invite, and you're like, oh shit, like just the time frame, like I forgot all about it, to be honest with you, that we were even having a meeting until you texted me. I was like, damn, like it's not on my calendar. So for me, like everything is calendar based. Like I'm trying to maximize my time. Like my accountant, here's an example. My accountant, like sometimes he schedules time for me. He's like, yo, I got like 317 open and and 642. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, like I asked him, I was like, why is your scheduling so like crazy? He was like, because I maximize every minute of my day.
That's huge.
So somebody that's like a multi-millionaire that I look up to, that like you would never think like guys like us would hang out with, right? And I'm just like, it made me think that I'm wasting minutes throughout my day. So when I started to think about this, like, how can I change it? Yeah, you got to make some big changes, but can you do it overnight? Most of the times, no. You can make the decision overnight, but the work that needs to be put in to make those decisions a reality takes dedication and constant, you constantly have to remind yourself. So for me, I had to constantly like push this shit into my head, because then you're going to have, your girlfriend, your wife, your kids, your family, all these other outside distractions are going to continuously distract you from achieving that. So it's like, are you going to push yourself into that position to where you the shoe fits? Or is it you're just going to accept your life for the way it is? So me, I kept dreaming. I'm always dreaming, no matter what, whether I can achieve my goals or not. Like the goals I have just written down recently this year, people would think I'm fucking crazy. But 5 years from now, let's see who's crazy. So far, every 5-year plan I've written, I've exceeded. And I thought it was crazy when I wrote it down. But I just kept hustling, kept working. I kept grinding, kept learning little bits every single day. And that's really what it took. I just continue to outgrind myself. Mm-hmm. Like when I look in the mirror and I think back about myself, like, damn, I thought I was hot shit 5 years ago. Like when I look at myself today, I'm like, damn, bro, I'd like run circles around you little bitch ass. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really the mentality. It's that lion, it's that Mamba mentality. Mm-hmm. It's the Bushido way of life. It's being humble, being grateful, being thankful to get called on to this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like to constantly give back and try to help others, bring them up. By bringing them up, you're leveling up and you don't even realize you're building teams, man. Mm-hmm. You're building relationships that you don't even understand what God's doing for you. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many teams that are being built throughout the country. Like now I know guys like just from like getting on Instagram like 2-3 hours a day now and like networking with those guys, like I'm building a foundation there with a specific set of individuals that I want to help and teams I want to be a part of. So like it doesn't take a lot, but it's dedication. So I continue to dedicate my time in areas of my life that I want to be a part of in the future. That's really what it comes down to.
Strong. So with again, as one of the things that we're really struggling with now, I'm kind of segueing a little bit. One of the things that we're really struggling with now, I know a lot of dealerships, is consumer confidence. Tecobi obviously has, in my opinion, one of the best softwares out there for this time, where it's just, you have to follow up and really talk people into coming into the dealership. What role can Tecobi play to dealerships who've never heard of it or businesses who've never heard of it? Because y'all aren't just automotive specific, right? What role can Tecobi play in basically getting your business back out there?
Well, it's the fastest branding method that I've seen right now. Social media. Well, for COVID right now, most people are, I'd probably say, looking at the results for Facebook, Instagram, or any other. I mean, we target Facebook and Instagram and Marketplace strategically. So for those two business models, I'd say user-based usage has spiked and increased dramatically. To where I go on Messenger and just like check out, like when I wake up at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, like who's really up still? You get the idea? Like, and I just sit there and like go through the lists and like, like the first 50, 100 friends and just like, damn, these motherfuckers are still up, bro. What are they all doing? Or like I want to see like who's really grinding. So like if I saw you on there at 3 in the morning, I'd be like, yo, D, what you still up for?
Hustling.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I'm looking for the right response. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for people just to play with, like once in a while, just dropping like, yo, what you doing up right now? And they'd be like, what you doing up? Like, I just woke up, motherfucker. What are you doing? So, but that's like what I'm looking for. I'm personally looking for who's up at the right moment. All right. So if that's the case for dealerships, for other businesses, all other businesses, why aren't you targeting these people strategically and getting your message out in specific radiuses that you can geo-target with a strategic ad, whether you're just running a specific ad for lead gen, because that's what your business needs for your sales team, or you're running it for branding. All right. Example, I started a sneaker store a couple month or two ago. I jumped into it, became a partner. I took $3,000 out of my own money on a monthly basis and just branded the company. All right, $3,000. I know it's going to take time. This is a young business. It's not like it's a StockX or Goat or some of these big conglomerates, right, that are out there that have huge names in the industry, or Foot Action, Foot Locker, Champs. These are all big time sneaker stores in the industry. So how do you brand on the low, all right, and get massive exposure? You spend a couple bucks a day. All right, like people don't understand. Like, look at what ants can do. When there's a few of them. They can lift some heavy shit, right? And they can get a lot done when there's teamwork involved. So with a team, with a couple bucks a day and branding, you're networking and you're getting in touch with a couple thousand people per day.
Absolutely.
So I can't do that on a normal day inside of Facebook, right? If I go to Instagram, I only have X amount of followers, and out of those, only X amount actually follow me and conversate with me on a daily basis, right? So how do you reach the rest of the market? Target them strategically. All right. There's, 80 to 90%, since everyone's been home or laid off, or, been at stay home order through most of the states. Like, what do? You target them on social media. So you make sure it's just like McDonald's. Like, if everybody's got to go get something to eat, if they're on the road at night, right? Like, what's open 24 hours a day that you can think of? You're hungry.
McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody remembers the Arch Select. Why? Because they branded us for years, ever since we were kids. Ronald McDonald, Griffin, all of them, bro. Like, they've targeted us. That Arch Deluxe stays in everybody's head, man. Everybody sees that. Like, yo, McDonald's. They don't even got like, all they got to see is that big yellow sign, McDonald's. Like, even kids know what that shit is, man. So
every time we drive by that shit, my kid is going crazy. Like,
McDonald's. Yeah, exactly. Nuggets. I want chicken nuggets. I want chicken nuggets. So it's just constant branding, man. Like, if you're going to become successful, you got to believe in yourself enough to invest into yourself. And a lot of people don't, whether that's a webinar just to get the inspiration, within you, to where you believe in yourself again because you lost faith in yourself, or whether it's just having enough faith in your team and showing them that you believe in them. So like my guys, they have no idea about advertising. I was like, bro, I got you. So I spent my own money just to brand them. Didn't take me much. It took me, a half hour a day, half hour or less a day to sit here, create a new ad and put it on up there and then show them and interact with people, like as they're commenting on it or as they're sharing it, like add them as a friend and like introduce them. That's called leadership. It's leading the team and showing them what they should be doing and how to interact and how to take charge and how to open a new doorway, right, from nothing. And all of a sudden now you have all these new friends that want to really be your friend and want everything that you have and everything you're talking about. It's becoming, a friend to them. It's becoming, a colleague. It's becoming a mentor. It's becoming a big brother, a big sister, whatever. It's just opening the doorway and being kind and humble to people. And a lot of people, I think, are very unselfish. All right. We all are at times, and we all have to reflect on that. So for me as a leader in my life, for myself, I reflect on my life daily before I go to bed. I don't just lay down and go to sleep because I'm tired. Like, I force myself to stay awake to reflect on my day, to make sure, is there anybody that I upset? Is there anybody I harmed today? Was there anything I said that was mean or nasty? I even asked my wife all this stuff just to second guess myself, because I know, I could lie to myself, or convince myself that some things were okay. And if I did any harm doing, I don't care if it's 1 or 2 in the morning, I'll call you up. Even if you don't pick up, sometimes I'm glad that people don't pick up, because, it's sometimes it's scary, it's scary, to
you confront yourself like that.
Yeah. And, admit fault and admit your wrongdoings to somebody that you were wrong. So sometimes it's nice to leave it on a voicemail or text somebody, and say that and start that conversation. But for me, it's the right thing to do. It's the way I live. So I reflect on my day every single day, and I look back and make sure I did everything I could for everybody that asked me for help today. It's just sometimes that's the ball cap you wear, man. You want to be the partner or the business director or the guy or whatever. You want to be that my guy. Like, you want to be that guy. Like, bro, that hat's pretty heavy sometimes. Weighs pretty heavy on your shoulders. But I enjoy doing it, man. The pay is really well, so I can't complain about that. You know what I mean? The rewards are there. Can they be better? Of course they can. Of course I can pivot myself in better financial situations, but that takes time and it takes a lot of mistakes. I've made so many mistakes, and that's how I believe I've gotten better. Just by learning from those mistakes each and every time.
I think that's something that's people don't really realize how important that is. Like, a buddy of mine was talking today about, man, I messed up and this, and that. And I'm like, bro, you got to realize, like, everybody who's made it has fucked up royally. But it's that you got to get back on the horse.
Some people wouldn't even talk to me if I told them my story. For real. Like, when I tell them my story, they're just like, no, like, I ain't doing business with him, or I ain't talking to him. I'm like, that's okay. Like, 99% of this industry that we're in has a pretty troubled background, whether they admit it or not. They pretty much do. We all have problems, man. We're human. We're not Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, we're not Muhammad. We're not whoever. We're not that guy. So we're human. We're built to make mistakes. We're not perfect. No matter how much we aim at it and think we are, and like, we're human. Just be humble, man. Like, be forgiven. There's people in my life that constantly come back, and I'll push them away for a while, and then they get a little bit better, and I let them back in, and they stumble and fall, and they wonder why I push them away again. It's just like, bro, I love you, but I'm gonna love you from here.
That's it. Protect that. Keep that circle small, man.
Yeah, I love you. I'm gonna pray for you, man. I'm gonna pray for you. Like, if you need a couple bucks here and there, I'll get you. Don't keep calling me for money though. But I will constantly help you out when you need it. But it's gonna be on my terms. It's not gonna be on your terms because you keep asking me.
Absolutely. So, one of the things I've always respected about you is your ability to kind of break through the noise. Now, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to get specific for those. Maybe, there's some vendors out there for whatever industry, and they're trying to get out there and get known and kind of, just break through that, break through to the next level. What advice do you have for them to kind of get out there and, get more opportunities and close more deals?
Be real. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to fucking sugarcoat shit and act like you're, like you're Mr. Rogers, man. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason to be like that. Just like everybody thinks Walt Disney's like, the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, bro, there's a lot of shit out there about what Walt Disney really is, man.
Right.
Like, not everything. Don't judge the book by its cover. Be real. Mm-hmm. You're going to attract a certain audience that is drawn to you for a reason. All right, because that's who you are. If people don't like authenticity, tough shit. Like, welcome to 2020. Not 2020, 2020. Because that's really what's going on. Like, a lot of people watch everyone's got a preference, man. Everyone's got a preference for politics, this and that. Like, that shit means nothing, bro. This is all about making money for businesses, period. If you have value, tell people how you have value. All right? If it outweighs your competition, tell them how it outweighs the competition. How can this help them? That's it. It's really that simple. It doesn't need to be this big pitch and this and that. Like, show them your service, your product, show them what you can do, and then show them how you can help them. It's up to them for the picture that you've just painted and explained to them. If they like you, they'll continue to talk to you. If they don't like you, they will quickly get off the phone.
And then just move on.
It's that fucking simple. You know what I mean? Like, if they like you, they'll continue to gel with you. If not, oh well. And it's okay if it doesn't go your way. Everyone thinking, it's all about just close them. I get that, but you're not going to close everybody. I don't know anybody that has 100% closing percentage, no matter how good you think you are. I don't know anybody. I'm still waiting for Mr. 100% to come through and teach me some shit. I still haven't learned it. Like Grant, Gary, like everybody, it's okay, man. Whether it's price, whether it's personality, something, but all you can do is be your best and continue to learn from your own mistakes. But my advice with everybody, always be real, man. Never front, because everything's on social media anyway. You know, look at The Rock. What's he got? 100 million people that like him, that love him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 100 million people. You think he's met 100 million people?
Not at all.
No. Yeah, I mean, he's probably walked by 100 million people in his lifetime, but you don't know them people, bro. But you know, like, people love him. Why? Because he's fucking authentic. Motherfucker drinks bottles of tequila. Yeah. You know what I mean? Half naked. Girls on it.
That's the biggest thing right there. You know what I'm saying? Being authentic. I mean, I know a lot of salesmen that I meet when they're first kind of starting out, they always try to put on airs and be this idea of the sales.
Persona.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus
they're
just
trying to be an image of somebody. And that's okay to take. Listen, I've taken a lot of bits and pieces from specific people. And I take what I like about them and use it to my advantage for my skill sets. All right, whether it's their knowledge, whether it's their personality, whether it's their flair, whether it's, you know, Sonny making sure that, you know, I'm pointing 3 fingers at you because only 2 are pointing back at me, you know, from Bronx, that, like, all that shit, man, all that shit plays a part, you know, in everything. So it's just using what you really are, who you really are, and being as real as you can be. That's my advice to sales guys, man. Don't fraud. Be ghetto. If that's who you are, like, be ghetto. Learn, though. If you want to learn some vocabulary, like, learn. You know, like, it's okay. You know, it's okay to want to learn and want to change it up because you believe it's going to make you a little bit more money. Like, that's some shit you got to dedicate the time to it, man. You know, like, you know, learn to drink fucking tea, you know, properly. You know what I mean? Like, it's like totally switching it up. Like, it's okay to want to learn that shit, you know, and to branch out of your box. You know, don't just stay secluded in this little isolated box and be like, yeah, this is me. I'm authentic. I try a lot of shit, though. Yeah, I'll try anything at least once. You know, most things. I can't say everything now, but you know, most things. You know, at least in terms of sales, man, I'll try anything once just to see how it goes and if I think it's effective.
So, quick question for you. For those guys out there that's trying to drum up, you know, trying to do something different and outside the box, you know, what's a script, I guess, for the automotive guys out there that they can use to maybe drum up some business or just some ideas they can do on social media to be different?
I hate scripts, bro.
For real?
Yeah, for real. I fucking hate scripts. Totally hate them. Totally against them. I think your opening should be your script and that's it. Like, just your opening and let it flow from there. Like, everything should be a Q&A. Yeah, question, here's the answer. Question, here's the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, multiple choice, bro. No different from like a word track. You know, like in companies, like, you know, for vendors or any vendor or any business, I think there should be word tracks. Not just one answer. I think it should be multiple choice. So you can pick and really this comes down to you being authentic again and saying it the way that you need to get it across to that customer. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are going to want to hear it raw, right, and mad passion and blah, blah, blah. And some people are going to need it very, you know, very low tone. And that's okay. So I think, like, the individual has to read that person. And I think, like, what we're doing right now on this podcast where, you know, it's video, I think this is the future. Video is the future. Whether people admit this or not, like, this is the interaction, especially for dealerships right now, or realtors, or anybody that is selling items. Like, I would love to just sell to dealerships like this, just on a webinar. Like, I don't need you. Like, you don't need to go to these conferences and learn all this shit and listen to all these dudes try to brainwash you into their products. You don't need
it just saves your time at the end of the day. Like, I know when I was selling this stuff, man.
How many hours a week do you travel right now, D?
Now I'm chilling at the house. But before, you know, every Monday I'd be on.
Before,
I say Monday, I'll probably wake up at, like, I leave out of the house at 5 in the morning, catch a flight, fly to wherever I'm going, and then, you know, Fridays I'm on the way back home, you know, after spending the week out there. But when I was selling the digital stuff, bro, it was every day, constantly, 3-4 hours on the road.
But here's the deal.
Travel time.
You see this right here? It's my domain, bro.
Boom.
5 days a week I'm here. So you're away from your family. You get the idea? This is the power of technology now. I can sit here as long as I got a computer and Wi-Fi, right? So I need computer and Wi-Fi and myself, my vocals. I don't need to show you me. I can literally just sit here and get you on a webinar and just show you the screen.
Boom.
I don't need to fly out to go hold your hand and wait 2 hours at a dealership or 3 or 4 or 5 hours at a dealership, all right, to get your attention, to sit down and talk to you about the product. I can wait until you schedule it, all right, until you appreciate your time and my time, and then we can get on the calendar.
Not to mention the fact that when you try to, especially with dealerships, when you try to meet with these GMs, they set a certain time and then they're busy, or some deals coming through, or oh shit, it's an emergency that's popped up.
All about the up bus. This is what this is, right? So if there's an up right there and they're in a box and they're trying to get a deal done, like that's the GM's focus right now.
Absolutely.
The vendor is important to them because they're trying to forecast and think of additional ways to add value to their process. But at the end of the day, like this is what they have to do. They have to take care of that deal while it's there. That's so important, especially now in today's time, right? Like if there's a customer on the lot that's actually willing to go out regardless of COVID and what's going on in the world right now, they have to take extreme caution, and that takes precedence, man, over everything. So that's why this is really important. Video conferencing is really important, especially from the consumer end. Like we're just thinking about vendor shit. From the consumer aspect, like what consumer really wants to go to a dealership now if, number one, the dealership, and there's hundreds or thousands of dealerships starting to learn digital retailing now, right? So if you can sit here and add video chat to them, whether that's through whether they have an Android or an iPhone or an iPad, right? And now they can communicate, all right, freely, and I can sit down with you and you can go walk outside and show me the car. And like start the car and tell me it's sterilized and play with the radio and be like, all right, turn on whatever, this or that channel or this channel or that channel, and like show me the backup camera, and like go in the back seat, go in the third row. Like how easy is it for an adult your size to get in the back seat, right? And like show me the cargo, open the trunk, like let me see the rims, let me see the calipers.
Future, brother.
So like that it's not the future, it's now, like it's happening. So, and this is where I think dealers are, dealers that are being proactive, and I think they're starting to pop their head out of their little turtle shell, and they're starting to be like, all right, we're losing enough business, because now they're losing money. All right, so how do they earn that back? They fight for it.
Do you think this is like the push that every dealership needed to really go into more of a digital space? Because I mean everybody's talking about it, but as a whole everybody's so far behind everybody else.
So this is the push I think they need, because let's look at this. Like this happened when like 2008 or something like that, when like the market crashed and shit like that. And then like before that was like 9/11. So like it seems like there's a big event that's happening about every 10 years right now to where it's really affecting the market. So this is the future. Like it doesn't get any realer than this, besides like virtual, but like with virtual, like what's easier than talking to you and working out a deal, talking about the vehicle you want, picking the vehicle out, negotiating your credit, negotiating your trade, right? Directly, like talking to you about it. Like you can go out and show me yours. I showed you mine now show me yours, right? So now I can visually inspect it, and see if there's any dents or dings or rips or tears or how dirty it is. Then we can go over a credit app together with you. If we needed to add your spouse in, we can add them to this video call right now, whether they're at work or they're traveling or not. So if we really needed you and you were traveling or your wife was traveling, we can add her or spouse. We can add them to the video chat right now.
That's huge.
Get the idea? Like without having to like schedule, like because a lot of people don't understand technology. Like my mom, she doesn't know how to log into a Facebook Messenger video chat. Like she doesn't know how to FaceTime. Like I FaceTime her all the time. She never picks up the damn phone. Bought her this $1,100 iPhone. She never even fucking uses it. It's just like, oh, that thing that it sits in the car for when I need it. Like, dude, she don't use that shit, bro. So that's where we're at. Like they're at the point now to where dealers are going to have to push themselves if they want that business. If not, the next dealer that wants that business will earn it, because now their finance department's going to work and bust their ass, and the GM or GSMs that are there that do have the relationships with the banks are going to make that deal happen.
What about Carvana? Because that's been something that kind of shook up the auto industry when they kind of made their big introduction out there. A lot of folks were scared. I'm not sure if you're in that used car managers group, but that was like a whole discussion thread for a good little bit.
I sort of just observed. I don't know if I'm in that one, or if I'm under there as an alias. But a lot of people add me into a lot of different chat groups. Some of them with my name. Some of them don't want me in there because I'm a vendor. So I have a few aliases that I sort of just watch and observe. And a lot of in the moderator team, they don't have enough time to pay attention to those observers, all right, that are never commenting, all right. But they'll see that they log in like once or twice a week. Like, yeah, that's me. So I observe like a lot of these comments and discussions to see where it's at, just to understand like what's going on when a dealer's not keeping it real with me.
Keep your finger on the pulse and all that.
Yeah, just to see what's going on, man, with their thoughts. Like, you know, what are they really talking about? Even like when they talk shit about Tecobi or they talk great about Tecobi. You know, like we got supporters and we got, naysayers. Same thing. Like I don't go in there and say anything. I just watch and observe. Yeah, I just want to see.
Y'all have a cult following. Like I remember there was one guy. I'm not gonna say his name to kind of bring him some shine or anything, but I think he like posted something like I have a Tecobi like product or something like that, and just customers coming out the woodwork. Like,
I remember. Yeah, I remember. I actually called them on up. It's funny too. Some of his clients or some of his dealers actually use us. Some that he actually is with. He's brought me business. Like, he from that post, he's actually brought me business. Like, yeah, he said to call you on up directly and to get a personal demo with you and schedule it with you. So he's actually called me on up and sent me some referrals. Like, listen, it's not all bad. It's just there's two sides to a coin, man. At the end of the day, like competition is healthy. There's nothing like there's Nike, there's Adidas, there's Ford, there's Chevy. They're you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many brands out there, bro. Like competition is natural. Don't be a little bitch because there's competition. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. It's okay if you lose a sale to the fucking dude next door that you hate. That's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like don't catch feelings over that shit. Like that's some little kid shit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like be professional, bro. Like at the end of the day, like, like I'm ghetto as fuck. I'm professional though. You get the idea. Like, so there's a difference in evaluating your losses. With Carvana, this gives dealership this gives every dealership right now the fair shot to actually take a shot at them. All right, and to really stand in their own. Like right now, they have the opportunity to shut that shit down. All right, if they pay fucking attention, all right, and like every dealer I talk to, like I show them. I'm not like trying to bash Carvana or another company. I just say this is how your dealership. If I was your partner, right, or if I was your GM, all right, or whatever, all right, if I was your son, like this is what I would. This is the advice I would give you. All right, this is free consulting advice. All right, like I'm not charging you to tell you this. So like take it for what it's worth. Whether you fucking think I'm crazy, it's okay. Like I'm just giving you the advice, man. That's it. So either you're paying attention and you're going to do something with it, or you're at least going to chew on that for a little bit and go to your 20 group and chew on that some more with them. This is what they should be doing. They should be combating Carvana right now. Like that market share should be theirs. So if they don't want to fight and take that market share back, two things are going to happen. Either they're going to fight Carvana and there's going to be some healthy competition there, and they're going to win some of that competition. They're going to lose some of that competition to Carvana. But at the end of the day, that's how consumers want to shop now. Look at Amazon Prime. Does anybody want to go to the store and buy any of those 6 million fucking products that are out there? No. That's why they pay for Amazon Prime. You get the idea? Like the trends are there. You just got to pay attention to them. Any marketing director or business director for a dealership or an auto group should be paying attention to that. Especially the marketing directors. They should be not on top of just automotive, but trends globally of what's going on in the world. How consumers are wanting to shop and what's an easier way for them to get what they want.
I guess the problem is right now trying to find that balance, because of course everything is going online, but I think the mindset of most dealerships is, well, I'll make most of my money when people are actually in the dealership.
I think that's mindset.
Think so?
I think that's mindset that they think they can crack them over the head. But at the end of the day, why do you think people don't want to go into the dealership now? Have they been cracked over the fucking head for a 10 or 20 pounder and realized it later? Get the idea? Like, keep in mind, like I've learned from my mistakes. Sometimes some mistakes cost more than others. You get the idea? There's some dealerships that have been fined millions of dollars for some of those mistakes that they've made. All right. Some mistakes cost more than others. So if I'm a consumer and I figure out 5 years later, 6 years later, 10 years later, I got cracked over the head for what's called a 20 pounder, right? And realize, or a 10 pounder, which is astronomical. But, kudos to those who did that. And then shame on you to those who did that. There's two sides of the coin. But at the end of the day, congrats to the salesman. Shame on you to the GM that let that happen. Right? You get the idea?
Absolutely.
So it's a double, or the owner that let that happen. Like, you're not going to earn that fucking customer's business down the road. Yeah, it's not going to happen, man. So that's the customer that's going to Carvana now. That's the customer that's sitting on a video chat with you, walking through every fucking step of the way, getting what he wants because he knows what's going to happen, and he's going to get. And they know, like, I'm a sales guy, like just like you. Like, when we go into a dealership and we know what we want, it's sort of hard to say no, especially if you got the money to pull the trigger on it, and you're not like locked into. I only got $2,000 to put down if I really had to, knowing damn well you got $5,000 if they really asked you for it. You know what I mean? Like, so. Everyone's different, man. Like, everyone's got a credit card. Like, they find a fucking way to get the deal done and crack them over the head. So if customers are getting smarter, which they are, because now they're starting to deal with millennials, right? And we're not that fucking stupid. Yeah, we might be lazy, but we're not fucking stupid. So at the end of the day, like, we know how to negotiate a deal. Why? Because we understand the internet. Like, we're the next generation coming on up. So really, it's like, it's like you and me selling each other. That's why being real is so, is so important, because you and me can dictate bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Or we're going to give our family, the advice, or our friends the advice, because they're going to reach out to somebody like you or me. Like, I'm thinking about buying a car, even though you're a realtor, or you're, or you're, like, when I think about large purchases, bro, like anything over, $100,000, you know who I call? I call my accountant. Why? Because he's used to those purchases. Get the idea? Yeah. I have those, 2-hour long conversations about them, pros and cons. Or investments, same thing. I have those conversations with them. Like, what do you think? Just to chew on something, man. Like, it's not like a family member. Like, dude, this is a deal that deals with money, man. Or I'll have a conversation with a dealer principal once in a while. If they let me run it by them. We're a GM, same shit. So it's just giving the consumer what they want, man. Like, this is what they want.
I don't know why people try to make it harder than what it is when it's really that simple. Especially in this day of free information. Just put it out there, man.
They're lazy.
I think I was having a conversation with some of my salesmen the other day, and I was like, with all this stuff that we have access to, if you just focus on just not trying to clean it up, not trying to be this specific person, just put it out there, you'll attract the right person. Whether you're
here's why.
or
sophisticated, what have you. I think about this a lot. I think a lot of people, number one, they don't write down their goals, so they have none. Get the idea? Like, if I was starting a team today, first thing I would ask them, what are your goals? Give me your 5-year goals right now. Go. Don't worry, take your time. I'll wait. Get the idea? Be my number one question, number one recruiting question. Give me your 5 goals. I wouldn't say a fucking other word, bro. I would literally sit there and just wait for them to give me their goals. Even if they sat there and looked at me like, what did you say? I wouldn't say nothing. I would just keep looking at my watch.
Just force them to kind of think about that future.
Yeah. Because from that point, what's it going to take to get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to expand their mind, man. Like, yeah, I know you need money to pay your bills. I know for some reason you came in here for a job. I know, for some reason you wrote this resume up or had somebody put it together. I get all that. So like, what's going to make you stand out? Like, how hungry are you really? You know what I mean? Like, what are you willing to do? Because I'll give you an idea. If I sold drugs, I would do anything to sell drugs. Anything. Right? For whatever financial gains I needed that money for, or I told myself I needed that money for, I would do anything to make that happen. Same thing for Tecobi. I found a business, whatever dealership it was, that asked me for a demo. All right. I found a way that we would be a better fit than their current advertising spend is. So if you don't get it, if you're not authentic, a dealership is not going to open up. The turtle is not going to pop its head out of the shell and actually sit there and chill and relax and have a conversation with you. If they don't feel that, and you don't make them feel that, and they don't believe in what you're saying, you're not doing business. That's it. All right, because they can read you. These are guys, these are general managers or dealer principals that have millions of dollars, that have been pitched by plenty of guys probably like us or better than us, all right, or worse than us or whatever. have been doing business for a long time and have heard many pitches before. What's going to separate you from them? Is the product, the software, the merchandise, is all that better? How do they know that? From word of mouth, from a 20 group, from results, from their OEM? Get the idea? You have to sell yourself. They already know what the product is. They're interested for a reason. It's been recommended or referred to them from somebody. They've asked about it. Even when they're ready to sign up, like that one dude, like, bro, all those people that were there are in that chat session. Like, there were some pros and there were some cons. There were some dealers that had great experiences with us and still do, and there's some ones that don't. You know, for the ones that don't, I tell you, you're fucking lazy. That's why it didn't work. Period. I gave you the advice. You guys gave me $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month for a reason, because you believed in what I was selling you. Okay? I didn't just pull, I wasn't the wolf in lamb's clothing. I was the fucking wolf talking to a wolf. If you don't want to be a wolf and train your team to be wolf, shame on you. That's it. It's that simple.
Absolutely.
It really is. If your team's lazy, shame on you. You're the leader. I'm not leading your team. I'm just a vendor. I'm a partner to help you help them. But you can't help everybody, man. Not everybody wants the help. Even though they pay you for the help, they don't want to put in the work that it takes to get there. No different from all these people that I first got clean with. I can count, out of the 5,000 people that started that journey with me, 5 of us are left.
Wow.
13 years later. You get the idea? 5 of us are hungry enough and humble and grateful that we love the life we live today. 5 of us. That's it. Out of 5,000.
That's crazy.
Get the idea? The odds of people, like, how many people were like Jay-Z?
Very few and far between.
Right, you get the idea? Like, how many other rappers actually succeeded? Shit, some of them that hated Jay-Z came years later and asking him for a job. The dude that actually, Nas, that actually thought that is debatable that he actually beat him in a battle, still had to come back and ask him for money. And ask him for, you get the idea? Like, bro, you might have won the battle. You lost the war, homie. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference here, bro. You might lose on that mini. That mini can turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars long-term for the business. So there's a difference. Does that 10-pounder matter to you now? Or are you pushing them away to Carvana? All right, 2 years, 5 years down the road. When you text them 2 years from now, or call them, or send out a mailer, or whatever it is that you're doing to get back in touch with them, are you going to win that sale because you asked for it again? Or did you fuck up when you originally sold them and do something distasteful and unethical to lose that business in the future? There's a short play and a long play. All right? You got to understand what's going on with your business model, man. And for me, that took a couple of years to understand that.
I think that's something that's completely missed out. Folks, don't realize that to be a good business person, you have to overall just be a good person, because those habits are the same, you know what I'm saying, whether it be just in regular life or in business.
Yeah.
There's a quote that I always fall back to that I was talking about Phil, the Group 1 training instructor all those years ago when I took that training. But he says, we're in the people business. We just happen to sell cars. And I attribute that to everything.
Everything, it's everything. Listen, everything that I'm telling you has already been told to you. It's already been preached to you. It's already been taught to you. It's just we're having a different conversation. This might be a little more authentic than the white collar approach that's been presented to you. You get the idea? So there's a difference for us to level up. No different from, looks like with LeBron James, right? LeBron James hangs out with, what's that, like that group of individuals that you always see them together? Like, it's almost like that.
His entourage, the Maverick Carter, and what's his other name?
Get the idea?
It's
almost like this group, right? Like, they learn from each other. Like, you ever notice like AB's over there too? He's always in the cut though. Like, he's never like in the circle, but he's like in the cut. Like, he's all the way the fuck over here, lamped out, like just listening to these guys. Like, he's fucking crazy, right? He might have some mental issues and shit, but like, he's a part of that. You get the idea? So like, his support group is there, and he still continues to fuck up. All right, we're talking about a rich man now. Like, he's rich. He's not just like, like, he's rich. 50 million bucks in the bank, like, that's rich to me. $50 million is rich. All right? Because that wealth can turn into a lot. right? He's bought everything you could fucking want, like ridiculous amounts of shit, but his actions continue to keep him out of a job, right? His personal actions continue to keep him out of a job. Why? Because someone's not willing to give him a chance. Someone's not willing to overlook that. Like look at UFC, like those motherfuckers are crazier. They still got a job. John Jones constantly fucking gets high, still gets a job. You know what I mean? Why? Because the talent level is there. The only reason why people even consider AB because they know his talent level. You know what I'm saying? But his friends are constantly coaching him and teaching him and trying to get him. They're saying it to him in a different way. His agent says it one way, the NFL says it the other way. All he hears is "fuck you," racist remarks, "fuck you." All right, that's all he hears. When his friends tell him the same way, just a different tone, being real with them, he listens. And all of a sudden, that's when he comes back. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, Mr. Belichick. I'm sorry, Mr. Goodell. You get the idea? Like, it's the same thing. Yeah, listen, but it's the same thing. Like, you and me are having the same conversation that you or I have been taught before. It's just somebody else is deciding to open up and get real about it. And this message will hit somebody and be like, damn, those are real dudes. I want to learn a little bit more about it. Like this taught me a little something. This taught me 5 key points that I wasn't thinking about before. And that's all it's about. It's helping others level up, which helps us level up. It's like the tree of life.
That's why I wanted to have you on here, man, because I think you bring a fresh and unique perspective to business. Like, first conversation I ever had to you, I was expecting one thing, and I heard you, I was like, wow. But you know what I'm saying? I think it takes, folks from different, walks of life just to, communicate them. Everybody's saying the same shit, but it's just all about the way it's said,
Yep, I agree, man, 100%.
It's also been going close to an hour. I didn't talk too much this time, man. When my guy Dan speaks, I kind of just like to sit here and soak up all the knowledge. Again, thank you so much, Dan, for coming on here, brother. We're going to wrap this up. Any last words for those out there? And by the way, insightful information, y'all. Make sure to go back and rewatch all this. He was giving out some gold. Any last words you want to kind of leave with my audience out there?
Spend more. Spend more money. I used to think, like Jay used to tell me to spend more money. I used to think he was fucking crazy. I used to think he was crazy, because I'm a penny pincher, and I've learned to let go and spend more. Why? Because it makes me analyze my spending habits, my return on investment. So, like, the more I spend, the more I become an entrepreneur, and I'm learning the way I'm spending are those good habits. Doesn't matter how you do it, whether it's cash. Like for me, I use everything on a card. So everything on debit or a credit card. Why? Because I want to see how much am I paying messing with Visa or Discover, American Express? What's my APR? What's my rollover? What do I get at 0%? You get the idea? It's allowing me to look at my habits and to use my spending power to my advantage. So if you want stuff, if you have the credit to go out and buy it, do it. Don't be afraid. Believe in yourself enough that you're going to be able to pay the bill. If you don't, shame on you. You're being a little bitch. You have to, it takes a big set of brass balls to go out and to do what you really want to do in life. Don't let this world or anybody ever hold you back or tell you, no, you can't do something. All this shit, you see how my brain's been brainwashed by positive aspirations. I'm going back to the pursuit of happiness. You see how you heard how that just came out, all of a sudden, so the moments that I've been told something, whether it was direct or indirect, like Will Smith telling his son, even me, don't ever believe you can't do something, even if I tell you can't do it. Believe in that shit more than anybody. Whether your wife thinks you're fucking crazy, your parent, doesn't matter, man. Just go do it. My advice, everybody, spend more money. Spend more money because you got to go earn more. You have to look at your investments. You have to maximize the shit and listen to your vendor partners when they're telling you this is how you get better. The advice is not just blindly being thrown out to you. You have to listen to them. Once you listen to them and the results aren't there, you're fired. Because now if you listen and do everything they tell you to do, right, then you reflect on that all right, cool. I did everything you told me to do and I'm still not making more money. Now what do you got to say? Oh, nothing? Oh, you're fired. And fucking take that money and put it somewhere else. Like if all my thoughts make me $1 over than what I spent, those are good thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. As long as I make money on those thoughts.
It's all about growth.
It's really that simple. It's all about making money, man. Making money is how we live the life that we want to live. So if we're making money, all those goals should be hit. So if we're taking the advice that's been given to us, doesn't matter how crazy or stupid we think it is. Like, you know, if someone tells you to make 50 phone calls, what's your first thought? What the fuck? Why are you saying what the fuck, bro? They're telling you how to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's telling you use Tecobi, why are you resisting?
That's it.
If someone's saying, yo, hire Derek for A, B, and C, why are you resisting?
With that all day.
Yeah, when Derek goes and asks, you know, his bosses, yo, I want to get paid 150, 200K a year, this, that. Why are you not giving it to him? Wasn't he a good investment at that price? What do you think he's going to bring to you at this price? Get the idea?
Huge.
It's a difference between a standard stock Payless shoe for $20, all right, that everybody thinks is being made for 10 cents over in China, and the difference between a Michael Jordan, all right, basketball shoe that actually costs $90 to make. And that's why it's sold for $2.25. When Virgil puts his hands on it, right, a designer from Louis Vuitton that Nike hired, that's why they sell out within 3 seconds in the world. And that's why resale value on them is worth 5 times the amount of when it first dropped. Same shit. All right. Why? Because you're paying somebody to put a unique touch on it. So when somebody asks you for a dollar amount, don't be afraid to pay them. The worst thing that happens is you learned a very valuable lesson. All right. And what's the best thing that can happen? This person actually returns, all right, a greater on an investment than you ever thought possible. So I've learned to spend more and invest more in people, in things, in material items, all of it. Watch it grow. Don't be afraid of your intuition.
That's such a revolutionary thought process, especially, you know, nowadays where everybody's in this conserve. But again, breaking outside that box, you know, it's going to be huge. I love it, man. I love it.
My wife, I actually drive her absolutely batshit crazy. All right. Since this COVID shit's happened, I spent a massive amount of money, man, invested into this sneaker shit and buying a lot of personal things for myself and for her. She broke out this weekend and started picking out some kicks, and I started helping her pick out some kicks. So she said she liked them all. So I bought every single one for her. I was like $5-6 grand worth of shoes. She's like, what the fuck? Like, she sees the bank account, boom, ding, 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 negative, you know, minus 500, 400, 1,000, 1,200, this and that. And she doesn't understand, like, yet. She's starting to. But all of those items that I buy right. No different from a GM or somebody else going to the auction, buying it under value and selling it at a profit. Get the idea? If we're making money and you get to drive a car or wear a pair of shoes or a T-shirt or a cap or a pair of glasses, and you can still fucking sell it at a profit, who's the idiot? Who's the idiot then? You know what I'm saying? Like, take that hustling mentality and use it. Somebody's got a record, a drug dealing record. They just came out of prison. Give them a fucking shot. Just never know when you're going to find the next, you know, DB or DW, and they're going to take you to the next level. You never know.
The best natural born salesman I ever seen. I don't think, you know, most people would really hire him, but at the time we had a really outside of the box thinkers at Pat Pick Nissan. What's his last name? Williams? I want to say Williams. I think so. It's been a couple years since I talked to him, but dude walked in, country is all get out, you know. But I think he had a record and everything, you know. But within his first month, he made $8,000. First month on the floor.
That was like your boys. I think the first demo you tried lining me on up with, bro, they're straight Southern ghetto. But yo, them boys hustled.
They get to it.
I know they were, because they were like, yo, hold on. And I would hear him like interacting with customers and making deals and like cursing this and that. But yo, motherfuckers were giving them money. They were hustling. I was just like, yo, that shit's crazy. That ATL market is just bananas, bro. But that's how it is. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, when people go to Brooklyn and like you go to Brooklyn and you hear these shit like, shut the fuck up and this and that. And like, that's how customers and owners and GMs are talking. Like, get them the fuck out of here, bro. If you don't got money. And they'd be like, oh, fuck you. 2 minutes later, they're coming back with $5 grand. Here's a deposit. Like, it's crazy, bro. Just how, you know, like how you're real with people. And then like, they're like, all right, he's real. Like, if they want it, they'll come back and buy it.
Break down that wall.
Yeah. They'll break the wall down. They'll find a way to buy it, man. So My advice, just like your people, like, bro, they're hustling for a reason. Buy it. Don't be afraid to just spend all your bread and be like, all right, I only got $200 left for the month. What are you gonna do with that 200? Flip it.
Make it happen.
There's so many ways to flip it legally, man. Like, going back to the beginning of this, that dope boy, all right, should be learning how to flip legal products. You got everything out there available for you. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Marketplace, eBay, Snapchat, this, that, everything, man. It's all digital, bro.
I think that like I know some of the investment women have that background. I just wish that I just wish that the more of the automotive industry would be more receptive to that type of person.
Shame on them if they're not, man. I know plenty of dealers that are. I know plenty of dealers that are. A majority of management or upper management all have a troubled history. If we really peel back that onion, man, you'd be surprised. If you want to talk off air, we can talk off air, and I'll let you know.
No, I believe it, man. Some of the stuff I've seen, yes, indeed.
Yeah, some deep shit. But listen, everyone's got a troubled past. It's who are you today? You can't go and post blood and all this crazy shit all over Facebook, and then expect the market to be receptive to that. Like people are judgmental. Be positive. Tell everybody you'll help them out and show them that you can help them.
That's the secret. There's no big crazy thing. It's just keeping it super simple. Be authentic and grind it out at the end of the day.
That's it, man.
I love it. All right, y'all. So in the description, I have my guy Dan Webb's. For those of you who we didn't talk too much about Tecobi, but it's an amazing platform. I love it. I'm a big fan. Every person that I talk to from a dealership, I always send over to my guys over there to get hooked up because it's the best thing banging right now.
If they want to get in touch with 5,000 people in 10 seconds,
boom,
and stop making outbound phone calls, and they want customers to text message them and call them back without having to pick up the phone, they should sign up for Tecobi. Period.
Like I put it on LinkedIn. I think I said, like, if you have, you can take a whole BDC team and put it against one talented BDC agent with Tecobi, beat them all day. Because versus, calling versus texting, one is what customers want nowadays, right? They want that, like they feel more comfortable texting versus calling, because I know this from firsthand. I can call 100 people, and get okay results. But those same people who wouldn't answer the phone because they don't recognize the number or what have you, text them, boom, massively more results and opportunities they're created that.
Versus going inside a messenger and trying to text message 100 or 1,000 people can fucking take you a day or a week. Hard to continue those conversations, and how many of them are pointless? They never give you their phone number. They never schedule an appointment. So you're doing all this busy work for nothing. If you call them all, how many voicemails are you getting? 90? Got in touch with 10, 5 hung up on you, 5 gave you the time of day. You scheduled 2-3 appointments? I can text.
And then half of those show up.
Yeah, I can text message the same amount of people in 10 seconds and find those 10 people and start typing and rebuttaling them, allowing them time to think about what I'm saying. If it makes sense to them, they respond, and I respond back to them like a real conversation. You give the answer and you wait. And then if they don't respond, you text them tomorrow. You don't call them and bombard them. You got to remember, these people have lives. They're just like us. They got kids running in the background, like I see your kids trying to get your attention, right? Right, or the wife, or they got responsibilities and this and that. Like, people have lives, man. We can't just bombard them and expect them to pick up the phone when your BDC team or your sales team calls them. Like, people have a life. People got responsibilities, man. They have their own shit that they got to deal with in life. Text them and wait for them to respond when it's convenient for them, because it's not about what we want. It's serving the customer. It's serving the community. When we get into the serving aspect and we're going back to being humble, all right, and being grateful for the opportunity to serve them and to help them and show them how we can help them. Like right now, everyone's got no payments for 90 days. Just about every dealership. Shit, even indie dealerships are doing the same thing. They're trying to find a way to get customers no payments for 90 days. Why? Because that helps them financially right now during a very tough time for a lot of people that were laid off or whatever the case. Get them out of their car, get them into a better, nicer car so they're happy, right? And give them no payments for a couple months. Boom. Simple deal. I tell everybody right now, if you ain't buying now, you're stupid. You're not going to get better deals than this ever. This is it. Like this is as best as it's going to ever get. So you might as well take advantage of the best deal that's ever going to come.
I love it, man. All right, y'all. We're gonna sign off of here real quick. I gotta jump out because my kids have been over here. If I look a little distracted, my kids were over here like trying to pull me away for a little bit. But again, my bad, man. But thanks again, thanks again, man, for jumping on here, brother. If you don't mind, man, I'd love to have you back on again and go a little bit deeper in some other stuff. That's cool. All right.
If you want, man, just hit me up. You got my number.
For sure, brother. All right, y'all. Be safe out there. Keep grinding. Keep hustling, and let's get it.
All right, baby.